work with each other for a positive outcome, and then that example can just be used across the diaspora, because I just feel like we just feel like, you know, nothing works. So we just get very singular and insular, and just make sure us and ours, our immediate is cool.
Right.
And long as that's cool,
right,
then I don't really care about the situation happening around us with our people.
Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Janita Mai and this is the Repart podcast. Now, on today's episode, we have the original. Is this the original
yes,
crew?
It is.
The original reboot crew, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you
guys,
had the vision.
Maintain was
Janita.
on holiday. He was on vacation, living his best life, but he is here today. Maintain, tell the people.
Yes, people. Yeah, good to be back. Feels great to be back in the Pearl. DJ Maintain, DJ and producer, living in Kampala now for 5 years, of Caribbean descent, Dominica and St. Kitts and Nevis. Big up.
How was London before we go to a show?
London, you know what? London was good in the sense that I got to see my family. Sometimes, you know, family can be a dynamic that's a bit stressful, but I got to see everybody that I needed to see, and it was really blessed. Yeah, it was blessed in that sense. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm about to get sentimental because this is the crew that brought it back. Okay, so, you know, O'Shea, let's get into it.
Yeah, guys, watch this clip and react to it with us.
How did we get to a point where we treated other human beings as slaves, and we're okay with that? When I see the Make America Great Again, my comment is, do you accept that could possibly be construed as a racist remark? And most people, a lot of people go, how could that be racist? Make America great again? I said, so just ask yourself from an African-American experience, when was it ever great in America for the African-American? When was it great? So if you're making it great again, it's not including them. So it's to teach us in the woke world to open up and accept the possibilities that our privilege has created blind spots for us. And maybe I haven't seen what is really happening yet in all my years.
Okay, it stops right there.
Who wants to go first before I go first?
We would love for you to go first.
Who picked the topic?
Maintain, actually.
Let's let Maintain go first. Then.
Okay. Firstly, big up man like Walter White, Heisenberg, for that right there. He is 100% correct. There is a lot of I speak about this all the time on episodes, right? I speak about narrative. I speak about the control of countries' narratives, right? And America needs to have a look at itself, because there's specific things that have happened in the past and in the present that they do, and there's no sort of fallout for them. No, like he was saying, like the slave trade, like the invasion of multiple Middle Eastern countries, right? Like the weapons of mass destruction that they was searching for that was never found, but it was enough for them to start a war and things like that. So when America, and I don't mean like the people or whatever, but like the government actually take a look at themselves and look at it from a point where you're not actually any better than the people that you're supposedly trying to liberate, you know, that's when you can move forward. But if you keep moving forward and pretending like you're the world police and you're the ones to bring justice to everything and civilization, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I totally agree with what Bryan Cranston is saying in that clip. For real.
Okay.
Get my GABA thinking on today. I rarely do this, but this is on the spot. So his name is what?
Bryan Cranston. He's an actor.
Bryan
Played
Cranston.
Walter White in Breaking
Bryan
Bad.
Cranston, yeah.
Okay. He there's no denying that he's right.
Straight.
But what is his incentive to say that?
To be a better American, maybe? Better human?
It's possible. Let me not say that all whites are bad or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that because, you have whites that helped in the slave trade. But like Malcolm X said, I mean, if there's a door and there's a lot of bees coming in, do you say, well, these are good bees and not the rest? I'm always leery of white people who are so adamant to speak up for blacks. Because I'm hearing what he's saying, but I mean, what he's saying is true. I can't deny that. But what's your incentive? Because what I found is the people who are like that are more racist than the races they're talking about. I'm gonna tell you why. Because at least with the Ku Klux Klan people, I'm not saying he is.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna deal with,
Right.
But like for example, there was this lady here, heavyset white lady here. No white saviors.
Oh my God, she's awful.
And I mean, here you have a lady that is left-leaning politically from a politically left-leaning city, which is Philadelphia, which is really one of the most blackest pro-black places, centers on planet Earth, besides, Harlem, Black London. But Philly is where the AME Church and Richard Allen was started. So, that's where even a lot of slaves are coming from. So Philadelphia, you get your intellects like Umar Johnson from Philly. So this lady comes here, and I can agree that if you talk about colonialism in Africa, she might sound just like this person here. And then like what happened. So let me just digest, and I'm not saying that America has to look at itself. People who are in power, why would they look at themselves? I don't think that they're going to do that. I think the real issue is, okay, because some white folks will tell you the truth. If that's the case, what he's telling you is, what do you need to do about it if I can digest it? Because one thing I would say about what this is and what I would say Elijah Muhammad would say, white people have been teaching black people, do something for yourself. And the only change you're going to have in an oppressive regime or people that look at you differently, because not much has changed since, my grandmother's generation. To me, obviously, racism is more subtle, and maybe the UK and in America, but blacks in the UK are probably still at the bottom, and we're still at the bottom. And the only thing that we have to do is understand, like, okay, let's not have these other people come and speak up on our behalf, because whoever speaks up on your behalf controls your narrative, like Black Lives Matter. Do you understand? Then all of a sudden now it becomes not only a Black Lives Matter thing, it becomes, oh, Black Lives Matter and Black transgender lives matter also. And feminism matters also. Because then it gets us in a position where, oh, these people really care about us, and they started funding our ideas. And then now the ideas are not their own. And then they're sending their kids to school while they're, like they're really, literally white Democratic people that will fund single motherhood while they're married in gated communities. I get what the guy is saying, and that's right. But at what point do we say as a group, okay, can we change this ourselves overnight? Like, what can we do? Like, we know that it's not a great for us, right? But can it ever be greater? And there were times where it was greater for us than it was now. Let's go back to your Black Wall Street days. Let's go back to the Harlem Renaissance. Now, we had less education and less wealth, but we have more black home ownership. 1 out of 3 every black households own something. That's why the white business started coming to ebony. That's why white started coming up with how to sell to the Negro. So we had better chances for us when we work together. And if we ever forget that main point, that we are the driving force and what the change is, we're always going to be dominated. And then they're going to always have this, dingling this thing in front of the black society. We can help you and stuff. And we're never helping ourselves. And what the guy is saying, I can't deny. But they're never going to change how they feel. They're going to change how they deal with us in different ways where we don't know that it's fucked up. And at some point, and that's how Africa is being dealt with, how we're being dealt with. At a point, and I'm not trying to be long with it, but I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it alone. At some point, what am I going to say as a brother as to maintain? Okay, maintain. We need to make our own opportunities for us. You know, like we know what the white guy is saying is right, but we don't even want him to say that for us.
Yeah.
We want to live. We know it's not fair. We're going to try to make it fair.
Yeah.
Because we got to take it out of their hands. They're not going to give it to us. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. We got to somehow fight for it or work for it. So then let's do that. But I think what happens is whenever we see whites talking like that, we get excited and they know they can do that. And then what you find out, there's never been a place where white people speaking for blacks and blacks get equality. Now, here's what you will see. Blacks fight for their own equality. Whites come in and help them somehow. Like in the civil rights. Like some whites died in civil rights. But you got to be able to lead that charge yourself. Then people can help you.
Yeah. No, that just makes everything different.
What?
Yeah, no, it's a great spin. It's a great spin.
Yeah.
And sorry, Johnny, did you want to say
No, I actually wanted to hear what you have to say now that he said what he said.
So it's a great spin. Mm-hmm. And being in London and then coming back home to Uganda, there's two things I want to say because O'Shea's got the cogs turning in my brain here.
I was getting my gaba on.
Yeah, you were. Big up Agaba, the viral sensation. But
Celebrity.
like to make America great again, like what he's saying, generally comes at the expense of others.
There you go. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear what O'Shea's saying.
Yes.
But I'm glad he brought it up.
Yeah.
In all his whiteness and all his all the things that are going in his favor. Because if I were to say it, or Jonita were to say it, or O'Shea were to say it, right, it kind of gets swept under the rug as us on our, like, you know, just moaning again or whatever, right? So when someone that looks like him, with the privilege that he has, says something like that, it kind of hits hard and makes people pay attention. That's the first thing I want to say. So making America great again is not a great slogan, because when you make America great again, it's generally at the expense of other people. Like America's assassinated presidents. They've dropped bombs that haven't needed to be dropped. They've exploited and etc. Second point I wanted to make was, like, I see a lot of it in social media. I see a lot of it in music, and I feel like the diaspora, black people, we need to be a little bit more guarded with our resources, our talent, our time, because we're such giving and loving people. We always accept people in. No, we're always like, oh, you seem like your intentions are cool. Let you in, only to be let down again. I.e., you know, I don't even want to say their names. I don't want to give them any props, but you know what I'm talking about. Certain people who start on a certain path on their social media journey, and it includes blacks. And then once they get the views or the notoriety they want to kind of swerve away from that, right? But they've used us to get where they want to get to.
Somebody in London.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, I just feel like we need to get is a term that's used, get your house in order. I feel just like we need to get our house in order. We need to learn to work with each other for a positive outcome. And then that example can just be used across the diaspora, because I just feel like we just feel like, you know, nothing works. So we just get very singular and insular, and just make sure us and ours, our immediate is cool. Right. And long as that's cool, right, then I don't really care about the situation happening around us with our people. Okay. So those are the two things that spring to my mind.
Let me just say one last thing. I'm hearing what you're saying, and it does make sense. But when you say, like, for America to do well, something has to happen
to
at the expense of others.
Yeah. Generally.
Yeah. first it was happening inside the nation with slavery and Jim Crow, which is in the historical past.
Yeah.
I believe that the system has advanced far more than where we can perceive that it will be. Whereas I don't even think it's all about keeping blacks at the bottom anymore, because looking now at these agendas, there is a LGBTQ agenda, there's an interracial whatever agenda in America. It's trans whatever kind of agenda. And let's look at South Africa. Do you know that whites can still run America and make it great again until what they say, as long as they're in power? That's all that matters. Like, it doesn't have to be majority white. They understand that. You know, like, look at South Africa. We can say make South Africa great again. I mean, we can say maybe give more power, but South Africans can run South Africa and the economy, and it doesn't even need to be that many whites. And America can do all it needs to do as long as they have the skilled people in positions to run that country and intact the world, the free world. So when America says make America great again, we might think that it's make America white again, but America has transformed a lot in the last 50 years from a very Christian conservative nation to now. I mean, you see the agenda going on. America is still dominant. So when we say America, make America great again, I mean, I don't know what, it's something that you can perceive as an individual to what they're talking about. We don't know what they're saying. It could be make America whiter again, right? It could mean that.
Yeah.
But it could be make America incestuous again. We don't know. But whatever make America great again, it always is going to revolve around whites having more dominance in the sector. And they can do it in many different ways than now. They can do it with a white gay president. They can do it with blacks. They can do it. Like, look at Barack Obama. They did it with him. You know, Zimbabwe still had sanctions under Obama. It doesn't matter if we have a black vice president. Does it matter? Really. You can have all black judges in Atlanta and Fulton County. The system is still going to work. It don't matter who is there. I think London, they have an Indian mayor now.
They've had an Indian mayor, and now they have an Indian prime minister. But the thing is about that situation, right? If I can interject.
Go ahead.
Apologies. So the Indian mayor is very proud of his heritage and his Muslim religion. And due to that fact, let's just keep it real, white people don't like him.
Okay.
Right? But he's trying his best, and I believe he's doing a good job as mayor of London.
Okay.
Now on the flip side, you've got the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, who doesn't really care about his heritage, tries to sway as far as possible from anything that deals with his heritage, and he plays, basically he acts white.
Okay.
And he is basically just keeping his rich friends rich.
Okay.
Like, he's very rich himself.
Okay, I believe it.
And his wife had shares in a Russian oil company.
Oh, really?
Equating to about £540 million. And they were questioning him, like, how can you be the prime minister of this country with all the things we've gone through?
Shit.
And your wife has shares in a Russian oil company. I don't know that.
Those are the friends I need.
Well, you know, so he is basically like just keeping the rich rich,
right,
and the poor, and that's what the Conservatives do, and they just play off on immigration,
and
get
every
people
country
to vote for them again. They act like they're friends of the working class to get them to vote for them, and then just throw them away since they win the election. So that's the issue you have in London at the moment. You've got the London mayor, very proud Indian Muslim man, and you've got the complete opposite in Rishi Sunak.
But the thing is, the system is still gonna work because London has a diverse population. But from what I understand, the rest of the UK is mostly white. Yeah. Okay, so then they still run everything. Most of the stuff. They're going to still run, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we say make America great again, it could just be a slogan to get somebody in power. The thing is, whether it's Trump or Biden, it's America is white again to the core because they run everything. They are your teachers. They are your professors. They are your Nobel Prize winners. They run Hollywood, or if it's not that, it's the Jews. They run all the institutions. Every institution is founded by them and named after them. America is still going to be great or white, however you look at it, blue or red state. And that is the thing. And that's something that blacks going to have to understand. The only reason why I speak English and you speak English today, because the whites have taught me. We are their children, right? That's the thing. That's something you always got to understand.
Well, they didn't teach us. They forced us.
However you want to look at it. Yeah. I mean, whatever education I have or whatever school I have, the way I think is because I come up in a capitalist North America setting and trying to find who I am at certain points. So the reality is that they're going to still run the system. And sometimes we can play that, but you got to understand that's where it's going to be. And the only way blacks are going to be able to do that is understand that, you're going to have to fight and die in a war. Or move to Africa and try to integrate with the African society and join in with them.
But I think, moving forward, what's the slogan for America? Land of the free, home of the brave.
Yes.
What's the other thing they say? Like, something for nothing. Anyone can make it in America. Streets are paved with gold. That narrative and that sort of spin, that needs to be, I suppose, broken apart. Like that America needs to be seen for the nation
that it is. Right?
And once it is, people can stop welcoming them.
Welcome,
right? With open arms when they come approach you for let's work together on this, let's work together on that. Like they need to be seen for what they are, so they can their position in the world, which is kind of like with the emergence of China now and etc., needs to just be brought down a couple of pegs.
Yeah,
because the way they are viewed allows them to go around the world the way they are, like in the Middle East and etc., and do what they do. So that make America great. That was a term that Trump came up with, right? And we know the backdrop of that. So I believe that saying and that sort of misguided sort of superiority just needs to be broken down so people know what they're dealing with. Because America is a great salesman, woman or person.
But then my question would be, after it's been broken down to whatever level that you said is going to be, to the lowest empirical formula, what would then be the outcome for, I don't know, the black community? I think if America has fallen, in prestige. I think we lost, we no longer have a perfect Moody's credit score rating like we did. I think we went from a 5 to a 4.5, so it's not so bad. But I still think that if we're talking about it in terms of the blacks, which is a part of that conversation there, our status would not change. If China became the number one country in the world and we became number 4, we would still be relegated in the same positions as if we were number 1. And it wouldn't matter if you had a black president. It wouldn't matter if we have black mayors or black judges. I think the system is pretty much in place to do what it's going to do. And there are people I feel like much more intelligent than us that have figured out how this works. I mean, who knows how many billions of dollars behind the scenes that people have come up with secret data, how to control people and control narratives. I get what you're saying, but I don't know if it would really lead to an outcome that you feel that is advantageous to that. It would have to, for you to say that, I would feel like something would need to occur. If it happens, then what? If it's brought down a few notches, okay, then what is the outcome of that?
Good question. I believe, well, I would hope, because less exploitation, right?
Let me see, in a perfect world, let me rephrase it then.
Yeah, okay.
If it could happen from, just take us down the value chain, I guess. America has to be dropped, even for him. Like, what do you see? How does it correlate to the people that you would want to help in society as to what their role would be in America in comparison to where they are now?
So you're talking about black people in America, right? Like how the stars and stripes and the home of the free.
Yeah, if all of that stuff is eliminated, then even on the world stage and domestically for blacks in America and on the world stage, what would you like to see that because of that happens, then this happens?
I would just like to see a fair playing field.
Okay,
because that's all we've ever wanted, right?
Yeah,
we've just wanted justice. We've just wanted to be seen. I don't even care about people seeing me as equal to you. I just want to be left alone to thrive.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like, not at every turn, I'm hit with some sort of barricade to my success because of the color of my skin and your perception of me,
right? Which
has been cultivated by yourselves, not even by us. And when I say us, I mean black people, right?
So you don't even really want whites to be relegated. That's not your position. Your position is to have the pure justice of the law and equality that they have.
Yeah, because that's all we've ever wanted, right? We don't necessarily want to be walking down the road with you hand in hand, arm in arm, and kumbaya sort of thing. We just wanna, we're in America. In a roundabout way. Well, okay, we know how we got there. We're there now. Just same like in the UK where I'm from, right? We're there now. Let us thrive. We don't really want to be all up. Well, some do.
Yeah.
Don't get twisted.
Yeah.
But like we all, and me growing up, all my people have all only ever wanted is just to like give us a fair shake. And go on about your business, and we'll just go on about our business, and that's the sort of that's what I kind of want. Not kind of, I do want to come from an introspective look at America from Americans, white Americans, because they don't see a problem, and if they do, it's always cast a blind eye. You see interviews like, "Oh, would you be a black person for a day, or would you swap roles?" They're quick to say no because they see the injustice. So, that's basically all I gotta say on that. That makes sense.
This is an amazing discussion between the two of you.
Oh, sorry, you want to get involved?
No, I don't want to add in anything because I don't want to take you guys away from the main topic. But you guys just go ahead. I'll just moderate.
No, just say last thing.
Please continue.
So, he's bringing some things that are making me, like, I won't say evaluate my position or anything like that, but I think here's the cold, hard truth that we're looking at is that we're not going to get that. I think we're hoping for that. And we're hoping that this cannot happen without some level of confrontation. And there's no way, like I was listening to this guy named Charles Piaqua. He actually was a guy that tried to take over Liberia in 1985. He thought he could do it. He got killed by Sam Nadeau. He was one of the guys that helped in the Liberian Revolution. And after his death, somebody said, that guy, he just didn't understand there's no revolution without bloodshed.
I'd agree.
So it's either going to be that, so either you die or you just accept for where it is, or you just go to, you try to reintegrate with, the African society, and you try to roll your dice and, go through the struggle of acclimating yourself there to be a part of what Africa has on this side, which is what I believe in that most of us have chosen to do that live here, which is difficult. But those are your two real choices. Like, either you separate or then you just fight. And most people don't want to fight. So there's no way you can live amongst whites and get justice. I think that's very clear. I think it's very clear equality. It's something that we're not going to get with them. We don't even get equality. There's not even Ugandans or Nigerians getting equality when whites are around them. Wherever whites are at and blacks are at, whites are always at the top and blacks at the bottom. Usually. There are some good white people for sure. But a lot of that ownership comes upon us to say, okay, we're trying to get equality from them, but can I give my brother parity? Like, we'll be looking for equality with whites, and then we won't even treat the black man or black woman with no respect. We won't even do black business in the right way. We will lie and cheat from each other and things like that. So if we were to focus more on that parity and equality, a lot of the things that we're talking about today, I feel like it would save itself. It would solve a lot of our problems. Mm-hmm. And there was a guy, he passed away, his name was David Curry. He said, one thing about blacks that they don't understand is the majority of their problems, they can solve it overnight. That is something that I largely believe that it is possible, but we have so many people with a convoluted mind. We have the most opportunities on planet Earth. We just do. A lot of this thing is us stopping each other. But man, I've gotten so further just working with blacks. It's been tough. I've taken some L's, but man, I've gotten so much further working with blacks and Africans than I've ever gotten working with whites.
Yeah.
I can tell you as many problems as I have here in the black world. There is no way I would trade where I am now and go back to actual equality in America for a white corporation. I just could not have what I have now. And I would 100% take this road no matter how difficult it is because I want to be my own man. Yeah. And I think for you as a black person, you're going to be your own man, you know, like Elijah Muhammad used to say, do something for yourself. And it's going to require dealing with a lot of nigga shit, dealing with people who are not on your level, or you're not on their level. It's going to be a lot of forgiveness happening. It's going to be a lot of getting through tough times with the black community. And this is going to be just a struggle. And most of us want to say, okay, we want equality. I'm not saying you, but we want equality because we don't want to really deal with each other in the bullshit that comes along with that because a lot of our people are sick. But that's the only real way to your freedom is to deal with the problems that you got head on. And that's something a lot of blacks don't want to deal with. And it's difficult because I do it every day. But it's the only way to clean your people up. That's what the whites do. The whites have to clean. When whites were living in the snow wherever in the Caucasus Mountains, before they came to the world power, they had to clean their people up. China has cleaned their people up. Now we got African-speaking Chinese. The blacks are the only people who have not done that. So we have to go through the problems. We got to go through the solutions. And we got to put our people on that particular stage to be like the Arabs. I was in Dubai just 2 months ago. These guys are living like Jesus 100 years ago. Just 100 years ago. Just 80 years ago. In the desert, no food. They get oil. Look at what they have done. You got to clean your people up.
But they've got control of their major resource.
There you go. Yeah,
so they can clean themselves up because you're selling oil per barrel like for God knows how much and how many you're producing.
It's a great point. But did you know that the Nigerian had an oil fund that at one point was worth $10 billion and they drained it?
But who helped them drain it?
No, it's true. But a lot of stuff, there's been a time where Nigeria kicked Shell out. In what's the other British oil company? It's
BP?
Yes. No, the BP. There's British BP oil.
Yeah.
Listen, as blacks, we have an obligation to also do the right thing.
But that's another conversation for another day. Control of our resources.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that's where it all starts from.
And we got a lot. There is so much money in this city that I don't even know how it happens or how it exists.
Yeah.
I will die not knowing. But again, it's just if you have the wrong mindset, it don't matter if they give you $100 billion. You're going to still lose it.
We have to start somewhere, right?
Yes.
Because we have shown that when we get it right, we get it really right.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And there's always some form of interference because when we get it right, it's not the norm, is it?
No.
It's the exception. It's like the people don't think, all black people are like that.
Mm-hmm.
They think, you're just an exception. Mm-hmm. Out of 10 people, one's going to be good. Mm-hmm. Me in my personal life, that's how I feel like I was looked at. Mm-hmm. I'm good at what I do, but it's not a norm for someone that looks to me to be as good as I am.
Yeah.
It's an exception.
I get it.
So I just feel like the reason why I feel like America needs to be brought down a peg or two is because if they are and they're not making, like, it's a money machine, America, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if you hurt their pocket, right, they're going to have to do some it's not because they want to help us, and nor do I want your help. I just want to be left alone to live. But very rarely am I allowed to do that. So if their world stock is dropped a bit and they're making less, then maybe through default, not because they want to help us, it's because they want to help themselves, and they take an introspective look at how they've run their country from the minute they got there and killed millions of indigenous people to set up that country. Maybe the fallout from that is that we, I hate to use this term, but sneak in the back door, get a foothold in something, and begin to build. So that's my thought process when I listen to Heisenberg.
This has been a very beautiful discussion between the two of you. I just let you guys have it and just say, you know what? Let me keep my opinion.
I feel
to
bad
myself.
you haven't said a word.
I was
so
just
bad.
like, because I was learning so much. I tell myself every time I watch our podcast, I'm always learning something. So this was a very informative and insightful. Risha didn't even touch her phone the whole time. She's just looking at
She's
you
learning.
guys. So yeah, this was a very beautiful one. But yeah, we can end it here. Do you guys have anything you want to add?
No.
Maintain. Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me at DJ Maintain on all social media platforms.
O'Shea?
Yeah, so O'Shea Duke, and I will say that on this journey, I've learned a lot. And, I will say just being on this podcast and even with the Pan-African dating show, just starting that medium, like, you never know what you can do in the Black world until you start. Like, when you start things for us, you'd be surprised at how many people can help you. And I want to say this. When I met Maintain the first time, this was like, I think a month after Kim passed away. He was just coming by for a podcast. Yeah. And it was just after that first podcast, I asked him, would you want to stay? And then that was the formation of the repat. I mean, obviously we didn't keep going.
Yeah.
I think we'd be much bigger now if we would have kept going back by then. But then we had some other people, like the videographers we have there was not there. We have a new manager at the time. So the thing is, a lot of times as Blacks, we don't know that the people that are going to help you the most, you haven't met them yet. And you gotta keep going so people can find you. And even me, my manager, she gets on me because I'm in my joint with my manager too before. So everybody knows that I can be f***ed up. It's just the truth, right? Like I can say the wrong thing, not to them, but just to, you know what I mean? Like I can deal with situations wrong.
Right.
But then at the same time,
we all do.
But it could be because, you get into a mindset because you can start feeling like, nothing's going to work, nothing's going to work. But I'm here to tell you, the Black world got so much opportunity. Just start.
Yeah.
Just start. Like the more you focus on what your group needs, and no offense to what you were saying, because it's true, because we still need that, but we would even have more power in those discussions if we had more of our own shit. Because the Chinese and the Indians, they focus on their group and then they say, okay, this is what we have for our group. Let's go back to the UN or whoever else, and then we get power. So if we start focusing on what we can do for our people and adds value and to start developing that, a lot of the stuff that we talk about would be less because we would be solving those things ourselves. And there's rules of engagement that we need to do that. And just, I'm telling you, the Pan-African Dating Show, it didn't even exist this time last year. But it has showed me, if anything, as proof that if you start something, somebody can come and help you and make it better. That is the honest truth. If you start. Yeah. And the people in the Black world that can help you, everybody ain't a scammer. You know what I mean? So I think if we were to do that and work with our people, we have so much brilliance out there that we just haven't. Agaba, met him, and he called me because he called you, and then I talked to him. Then he started going. So we don't know.
It's true.
If we start focusing more on us, we don't know what can we do. Let's take it as far as we can take it.
Well, I just said that earlier in the episode, right? We need to be a little bit more insular.
Yeah, you're right there. You're right.
We need to, you know what? I appreciate your offer.
Yeah.
White person, but I feel this is a journey I need to do on my own.
Yeah.
And we need to be a little bit more like that rather than bringing people into our spaces to be routinely upset and let down.
Yep.
Because it happens all the time, especially in social media. So I agree with you on that point.
Okay.
For sure.
Guys, we'll say it. If you saw something you want to tell us, you can send us an email at teamkenganda@gmail.com, and you can follow us on all our social media platforms at Kenganda Nation. You can also head over to the Pan African Dating Show, subscribe, and do all the nice things. We'll see you guys next time.